All right, you saw the title, you already know what it is. We are learning how to trade again from scratch. Before I get into everything, I just want to say that I have a lot planned for this video series. It's going to be a series of videos that comes out every either Friday or Saturday, but I have a lot planned, dude. We're going to be teaching you guys how to properly backtest. I'm going to be teaching you a whole lot, and you're gonna get to see me learning again from scratch. Now, before everything is going to be a lot of very very valuable advice in here too, so make sure that you watch every video all the way to the end. Now, as I was saying, before we get into everything, I first want to introduce a concept or explain a concept. I'm not sure what the formal name for it is, but within the 5 years that I've been trading, I've noticed something. um the way the market moves is in cycles. Obviously, you know that, but the way the market moves is in cycles. But I'm talking about larger cycles outside of what you know, the expansion, distribution, blah blah blah, all of that. Now, I'm talking about the cycles that I'm talking about represent changes in price action, right? From the beginning of the year all the way to the end of the year. It typically goes in four cycles that typically correlate with financial quarters, right? That's why a lot of traders that are on YouTube, social media, so on and so forth, that make videos about their strategies. That's why if you go on their page, you'll see like 9, 10 different videos about them explaining the best strategy or the strategy that made them several millions. And then every time you watch the video, it's a different strategy. That's probably why. It's because the cycles for different strategies tend to, how do I say, or let me rather say, strategies or a lot of different strategies tend to get cycled out, if that makes sense, in their profitability because of the subtle changes in price action that I'm talking about. That's why you could learn a strategy today and then it could work. You could backtest it and it'll be profitable for about 2 months. And then one day, all of a sudden, it'll just stop working. You get what I mean? Also, I apologize for the awkwardness. I'm going to be looking around and at different places sometimes because I'm not used to recording myself at this capacity. So yeah, it's gonna take a little bit of practice. Don't be alarmed. Don't mind the boxes on top of my closet. Uh, that's the box for my ring light. That's the box for the stand, and then over here is a TV. So yeah, don't mind that. As I was saying, market cycles. So strategies do have phases. They do have cycles. It's very very few strategies um that can survive multiple cycles that I'm talking about without getting cycled out of profitability. That's what happened to my old strategy. It survived about 5 market cycles, but then as soon as Trump came in, the price action changed a lot. And yeah, my edge no longer holds. So the very first thing that I'm going to be looking for to build a new strategy is obviously a way to derive higher time frame bias and then to refine levels for entry off, and then obviously an entry model itself that we're going to do. So basically a multi-time frame model. That's typically the best way that it works. If your strategy is not edge based, multi-time frame is one of the only ways to get good profitability. It takes a lot to be able to stay on one time frame and only on one time frame. You can only really do that once you have an edge, in my opinion. So yeah, the first thing that I'm going to be doing is picking one person, excuse me, one person to learn from. You know what I mean? My objective is extremely clear. I know what I want to do. I know what I want to learn. I know how I want to learn to do it. Excuse me. And yeah, of everything and the first piece of advice that I can give you when you're looking for or when you're looking to learn a strategy, when you're looking to learn how to trade, after learning the basics, what a candlestick is, what brokers are, what leverage is, all that kind of stuff, like the basic stuff. Now, what you want to do is pick one person to learn from, either one or two people max. But if it's two people, they both need to be teaching the exact same strategy and only that strategy. So if you're learning SMC, pick one person that trades SMC and only SMC, and then pick another person that trades SMC and only SMC. Because sometimes you could be stuck somewhere trying to understand something, and the guy that you're learning it from isn't explaining that one specific thing too well, but you find that the other guy's explaining it, I mean, pretty decently as well. So you get what I mean? And the second thing is, don't just take strategies, don't just take static strategies from YouTubers that make trading content. Why I'm saying that is because you guys need to understand, if YouTube is a part of my income, and videos where I'm highlighting a trading strategy get me the best views. That's gonna make me the most money. So you cannot take every single strategy that's out on YouTube and that an influencer says made the millions, or that an influencer says is the best strategy. You can't take all of that at face value. If you're gonna learn a strategy from someone, go on their page and then see how many times they've posted, this is the strategy that made me 20 million, or this is the strategy that made me profitable, blah, blah, blah. And every single time they've posted that type of video, check if it's the same strategy. If it's not, that is a major red flag. And another thing you want to look at is the distance between videos, because, like I mentioned, the cycles, right? Their old strategy could have just been cycled out, and the new one could have been cycled in. Or sometimes you just find that the strategy itself was good at some point, but at the time that you're learning it, it got cycled out. You get what I mean? So yeah, you just want to be extremely careful of that. My best recommendation, yes, there's a lot of free stuff and there's a lot of good education on YouTube, but the best of it is leaked courses. You are a lot better off just watching leaked courses. You get what I mean? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna watch leaked courses from Alchemist. So I did do a little bit of research into different things, SMC, ICT. I was very very deliberate in my research, and yeah, I don't know, Malaysian spin resistance just it looks the most attractive to me. So that's the decision I'm making. That's the decision I'm going to stick to. Learn one thing and stick to it. Learn one thing and stick to it. So yeah, I'm gonna be watching the videos where Alchemist and Zlankato are teaching storylines, and I'm just gonna be practicing and learning that for as long as I need to, as long as I need to, and I'm gonna update you guys on how that's going, how exactly I'm gonna be practicing it, and so on and so forth. You get what I mean? So I'm gonna get into the videos, then we'll get into the level refining and the entries whenever. You get what I mean? You don't want to move on to something else without understanding the previous thing. Because another thing, humble yourself, bro. Humble yourself. The Bible says the start of wisdom is understanding that you have none. So when you're learning something new, throw everything that you think you know out of the window. Because if everything that you think you knew is true, you wouldn't be here right now. You wouldn't be trying to learn how to trade again. So yeah, forget everything, throw it out the window, and pretend you're just a basic. You're a beginner. It was around 4 p.m. when I recorded that first clip. It's a little bit past midnight now. I watched the videos. I started both courses. The first league is a lot, and I think I got the basic gist of storylines. I'm on Bitcoin, daily time frame. That's my higher time frame bias. What I'm looking at now, what I'm showing you, is the first step of how to properly backtest, right? What you want is to go back into your chart, and in hindsight, if you don't know what hindsight means, Google it. I'm not an English teacher, but in hindsight, you want to look back into your chart history is what I mean to say, and then you want to look at moves and you want to understand why and how they started and where they came from. Because as I think it was Alchemist said, swing points in the charts in the markets don't just start from nowhere. They do not just come from nowhere. You get what I mean? So that's kind of what I'm busy with now. That's what I'm cooking up. Okay, excuse the potato quality, but it's that little bit of chart work that seems insignificant now, but that ends up being the world of difference in strengthening your base. Because as soon as you have the base down, you can literally build something crazy. Bro, all of the craziest structures and skyscrapers and all of that they wouldn't still be standing, they wouldn't still be as beautiful as they are if the base was crap. You get what I mean? So focus on the base. You get a strong base by focusing on the basics. If you say that, if you see that word basic, name, you see the word base. If you remove the E and you add an IC, that now becomes basic, because that's how you form your foundation with the basics. That's literally it, bro. It's going on TradingView and understanding how moves happened, how swing points happened, why there was a pullback, where there was a pullback, understanding where this pullback went to before continuing with the overall higher time frame trend and so on and so forth. Obviously, I won't be able to master all of it in like a month or Yeah, you get what I mean. It's yeah, mastering just mastering a strategy and something like that. It's one thing to be able to master an entry type, but mastering something like SMC or mastering support and resistance and so on and so forth, that's the kind of thing that takes years of experience. And I don't see myself mastering it anytime soon. But I do see myself getting good enough to be able to catch consistent trades very, very soon, though. So yeah, optimism is important. Further than just optimism, working hard is also important. So yeah, that's kind of just what I'm gonna be busy with this weekend. It's gonna be back and forth between TradingView and Traders Casa, so that I can replay chart data on different things. I'm gonna be focusing on Bitcoin, gold, and Nasdaq. Those are my preferred pairs to trade, my preferred symbols to trade as far as CFDs go. And yeah, it's just gonna be that. It's just gonna be that. Catching higher time frame bias moves and so on and so forth, bro. You get what I mean? I don't even need to understand the structure to every single pullback just to be able to speculate higher time frame bias correctly. You see, if you can do that, I promise you, bro, entries are gonna be extremely easy. Because that's the way that I see it. If you know that Bitcoin, let me tell you, if we knew about that Bitcoin, the massive Bitcoin sell-off from like 106K to all the way to where it is now, 84,849. If we knew about that, imagine the amount of sales that you could have hopped into. You could have sold and 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 sold. All because you understood your higher time frame bias. Obviously, there's no true, real way of knowing where the sell off or the massive dip is going to end, or where the massive swing point is going to end. But to be able to catch it and speculate it and catch it early is something that's a really, really big thing. And that's something, a skill and an ability that's slept on. You get what I mean? So, yeah, something that I've been missing through my entire trading experience, if I'm being completely honest with you. But yeah, majority of the way that I've been trading since I started trading was edge-based things, edge-based stuff, because I know how to code. So a lot of what I did, I coded into EAs, or I coded into PineScript, and then tested it via the MetaTrader 5 tester or via the TradingView strategy tester, and got statistical numbers, proper statistical edge, and so on and so forth and whatnot. You check. But now we are switching to actual proper real trading. Not that edge-based trading isn't real trading, but you get what I mean. Hopefully you get what I mean. And yeah, it literally all makes so much sense. And when I say what I'm saying makes sense is literally majority of the day long to multiple day long to week long trends that happen on different symbols and pairs and stuff can be traced and sourced back and probably most probably speculated on the daily time frame, possibly even the weekly time frame. It literally all makes so much sense. Look at this, bro. Price sweepers, and I don't even trade liquidity, but it would be dumb not to mark. If you have your higher time frame bias and you know that price is going to move up, and the only real target after you've passed this bit of consolidation, whatever happened here, is this massive wick. It's obviously liquidity, so it's just dumb not to mark it in that kind of situation. Okay, video cut off, but basically what I was trying to say is it literally all makes so much sense. I feel like my understanding of why moves happen and being able to find origin points and so on and so forth is getting a lot better. But it's just gonna take a bit of practice learning to filter out noise. You get what I mean? Like honestly, not much came from this low over here, and I would have marked it in real time. I would have marked it as important. I mean, yeah, this pullback came from it, but again, it was a fairly insignificant level. Or maybe that's just my lack of understanding, because I haven't gone too deep into the charts just as of yet. But you get exactly what I mean, though. Look at the reactions of some of these levels that I pointed. So here's some of my backtesting progress on Bitcoin. Let me pause this shit. So I was able to see. Okay, it's a little bit tricky because this is around October. This is around when I started trading Bitcoin initially. And I was able, because I know that the massive freaking sell-off that began happening with Bitcoin, because I know when it happened, because I was there, I traded it live, or I was experiencing it live, and because I know when it happened, my anticipation of it is kind of ruining the entire thing. So I might just switch from this year's chart to beginning to backtest next. I've literally backtested all of this year's data on Bitcoin, but I was able to see a potential massive drop off or sell off to where Bitcoin currently is now, from all the way back in, when is this, beginning of August to September in price, just purely in price action. You know what I mean? But a really big part of what's distracting me in my pursuit of understanding and knowledge is the fact that I knew the sell-off was going to happen, not just because I could kind of not just get the sense, but because I could kind of get an idea of it from analysis alone, from my day, switching between my daily and weekly and stuff, but because I actually know how it was going to happen and when it's going to happen and so on and so forth. So my anticipation of it is very much ruining things. I won't even lie to you. But yeah, these were the levels I want to show you. Look at when I marked these levels. I marked these levels in March. And if you take a look at where Bitcoin is, Bitcoin touched these levels. Bitcoin has already touched these levels, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, same with this. I'm expecting this to get taken out. Same with this. I'm expecting this to get taken out. I was expecting these levels to get taken out months ago in this backtested data chart, right? Long before I even was looking at the actual price numbers and the dates and stuff. So progress is definitely being made. I won't even lie to you. Progress is definitely being made. It is in no way a race, because if I can properly really understand my higher time frame bias, we'll be able to catch multiple trades per day. Not just bad trades, but if you really understand your higher time frame bias, you'll be able to filter out a lot of bad trades. So yeah, you'll be able to get a sense of if you know how to draw your daily levels as well, you'll be able to get a sense of when or where the best areas to buy and sell from are, and so on and so forth. You'll be able to scalp pullbacks, and you'll be able to swing larger moves and so on and so forth. So yeah, kind of just taking my time with it. It's currently Saturday. It's like 6 p.m. I think. I'm listening to jazz while I'm back testing. And yeah, bro, kind of just taking my time with it, being patient with it. I have jumped the gun a little bit, and sorry, let me go outside. I have jumped the gun a little bit and began practicing entries just a tad bit, but yeah, I found really good freaking entries using an entry model that I saw, because I skipped a little bit ahead in the League's Lankator course, and I skipped a little bit ahead and I found an entry model, one that I think I might just stick to, kind of just because it's one of the easiest to see so far. So yeah, right now I'm just really trying to find my footing with this higher time frame bias thing. Another important thing is refining levels, drawing levels and refining levels, and finding levels as they're forming, and so on and so forth. I'm actually really good at that, just off rip. So yeah, really good progress is being made. If I can get a little bit more comfortable, because I'm really comfortable now as it is with higher time frame bias, but if I can get a tad bit more comfortable, then I think we're good, because I'm getting really accurate at drawing target key levels that I'm expecting to be hit within the week or within a couple of days or a couple of weeks. You know what I mean? And they all do get hit. The way that I'm saying, if I'm saying that I expect a pullback to a certain area or a certain target to be hit, they do get hit, but I do experience quite a bit of drawdown in my expectations in that. You know what I mean? So if it takes a couple of days for a move to hit that I'm expecting, then that's quite a few lost trades. That's quite a few, my bad, there's quite a few lost trades within that time. So yeah, my goal in comfortability is just to be able to call daily candle moves. I'm not sure if the wind is making the camera do that whoosh thing. I'm making the mic do that whoosh thing. But yeah, my goal is to be able to call every single daily move, or to be able to at least try and speculate every single daily move. You get what I mean? Be able to comfortably speculate if, okay, today or tomorrow I'm expecting a pullback or the start of a pullback. I don't want to know where it's going to end. I don't have to know. I just want to be able to know that, okay, my larger bias is sells, but today or tomorrow I want to start looking for temporary scalp buys. You get what I mean? And then as soon as the reversal begins and we start playing into the larger trend, I'll obviously know because I go on daily. It's going to be a mission to go on the daily and the weekly time frame every single day. You get what I mean? So yeah, that's my goal, and I'm getting kind of good at that. It's just a matter of I want to be a tad bit more comfortable before I begin practicing entries. So yeah, that's where I am right now. Traders Casa just gave me no more data is available. Wait till tomorrow to continue the session. And look where Bitcoin is. One of the levels that I was talking about hit, and then wait, let me show you on trading. Here is the current trading view chart. I just want to show you, like literally take, hold on, wait, let me turn my brightness down. Literally take a look at that. You see what I mean? Both the levels that I had marked out on this chart ended up hitting. These were extreme levels, even though I did it, they were kind of in my expectation to hit, but this 80k did hit, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, the 80k did hit, and then so did okay, no, wait, 78 didn't. My last two levels were 78 and 76, which didn't hit yet, but so long as my 82 and my 80 hit. And then this was the area that before I began backtesting, I had marked out for potential buys, for a potential reversal, or for price to continue on from where it is. So the way that I'm looking at Bitcoin right now, looking at it on the daily time frame, I'm expecting price, obviously we began to reject this level, but what I'm expecting is for price to come up again and then either create another key level, either create another level, or the fuck, do not disturb. What I'm waiting for and I'm looking for is for price to either create another level that it can sell off further, or potentially just confirm rejections. And if I can see whether or not I see a resistance form, not a resistance, whether or not I see a support form, I'm still gonna be, my bias is still gonna remain with sells for a little bit, because if we do see a complete reversal and the bias changes to buys, it'll be short-lived buys, it'll be scalpable buys, it'll kind of just be a pullback, because I'll be expecting to see the low wherever the reversal happened to be taken out, and then we can begin to see price shoot up and begin to recover back to all-time highs. Seem a little bit far-fetched right now, but it's Bitcoin, man. Bitcoin fucking moves like 2% almost every day, so it's not really that far-fetched. You get what I mean? But the fact that I can analyze like that, the fact that I can speak like that, my mind is there. I didn't really get the best sleep today, so I'm a little bit tired. That's where the stuttering and the poor English kind of came into play. But the fact that I can speak like this with so much confidence is a lot of bad progress. When you consider the fact that 2 weeks ago, I couldn't even tell you what the fuck was what when it came to Malaysian SNR, and I'm now at a point where I can explain moves in price, where I can explain why I'm expecting what to happen, is real freaking progress and comfortability. So yeah, like I was saying, it's like 6:15. Yeah, I'll update you guys whenever something happens. So yeah. Alright, so something happened. This was the very first. It's just I didn't have the mind to record it because, as you can see, I'm beginning to backtest entries now. I didn't have the mind to record it because literally every single trade that I've taken backtesting has been L's, just straight up L after L after L after L. And this is the first trade that we won. The drawdown was incredibly heavy, that we almost got stopped out, but we did take the dub at the end, 1:3. This is the model that I want to stick with. This is the model that I want to trade. Main reason being, I don't really feel like I should explain that, but yeah, this is the model that I decided to stick to. First winning trade, and it only came because what I wanted to do was to practice higher time frame bias and the thing of looking for entries completely separately. Even though I knew that doing those two separately was going to lead to me taking a lot of L's, I know that was a bad idea. I know it was a bad idea, but yeah, eventually something good did come out of it. I decided to stop being a bitch and kind of combine the two and just practice the two at the same time, getting my higher time frame bias and using that higher time frame bias to look for entries. Because if it wasn't for that, I was probably going to continue to use the day's momentum and sell, which wouldn't have helped me at all. So yeah, guys, progress is being made. progress is being made. Okay, so regardless of whether or not a win or loss comes out of this, I figured I'd record my first breakdown of a backtested trade. So what I'm expecting to see happen is, before we can see, if we are going to begin to see Bitcoin sell, I'd prefer to see price come up a little bit more, potentially break this high and then create another QM level. So for that to happen, we need to see this low get broken and closed below. But yeah, if we are going to see price sell, I'd want to see it come up a bit higher. So as it stands right now, my bias is still, oh my days, my bad for that. As I was saying, as it stands right now, my bias is still bullish on the higher time frame. But what I do see is, because this is still a fresh level, what I do see is potential for a pullback. So my higher time frame bias is very much still bias, but I'd want to see, or I'm expecting, a pullback into this area potentially. If I get my entry confirmation for, because all I'm looking for are buys, to be honest. If I get my entry confirmation before we get this level, I'm still gonna take it, because yeah, it's impossible to predict every single daily candle. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm not at that level yet, so for me right now, it is impossible to do that. All I know how to do is have my higher time frame bias and know what to look for, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna go on the 4 hour time frame. I don't see any reason to believe that we're in a change of bias, or I don't see any reason to believe that my bias should be different. Okay, this QM level, this QM head level got tapped. So this is confirmation. This is kind of like confirmation about me being right in expecting a pullback. So yeah, as I was saying, my confirmation is still buys, but I'd want to see pullback to a low, because remember, the entire point of trading is to what? Buy low, sell high, right? So I'd want to see price pull back down to this level in the most ideal scenario. This level getting taken out definitely means some form of confirmation for a pullback. This could have been the reaction pullback. I don't know. But yeah, all I know to look for is my entry. So yeah, I'm gonna look for my entry. I'm gonna play price out, look for my entry, and then we'll record the trade as it's playing out. Okay, so I did find my entry, and before I show you guys the trade and I let it play out, now price as it stands right now, price hasn't actually tapped into my entry yet. So before I proceed to play out price, another very important thing that I feel like people tend to miss about backtesting is be realistic with yourself. If you see an entry that goes according to the model that you're trying to backtest, but it's in like some really odd hours, like if it's in Asian or London and you know that you're asleep during those times and that you only trade during New York, dude, what you should be doing is completely ignoring everything that's happening on the charts before the session that you're meant to trade, before the only session that you know you're going to trade, or before the only time that you know that you'll be able to trade, or the only time that you prefer trading in, if you get what I'm saying. And then from that time, begin analyzing. From that time, literally treat it like how you would every single day. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I know that I'm a bum, dude. The times that I wake up, because in South Africa, New York session starts at, because of the daylight savings thing, starts at 4:30, and because of that, I wake up at like 12, sometimes 1 p.m., sometimes 11 p.m. You get what I mean? So if I see an entry according to my model, regardless of how it played out, at like 9 a.m. or 8 a.m., I'm just gonna completely ignore it. I'm not even gonna count it as a win, as a loss, as a whatever. I'm going to disregard it, because I wouldn't have been on the charts if this actually happened. So what I do at the start of every single day on this backtesting thing is I put down a vertical line at the thingy. I put down a vertical line 30 minutes before New York session, because that's typically when I like to begin analyzing or taking my entries. So every single day, that's the only time that I'm willing to begin getting on the charts. So yeah, let me switch off the lights, then I'll show you guys how the trade's gonna play out. Hopefully it goes well. Here we freaking go. Let me change this to 1:3. Money. Increase the opacity a bit so that it's a little bit more visible. And yeah, I'm so nervous. It'll be mad embarrassing if it's just straight stop loss.
Freaking yes. Freaking yes. I almost got stopped out, but freaking yes, dude. Freaking yes. Just freaking yes. Freaking yes. I saw this level over here, which is why I had my stop loss around about 100 pips below it, 100 points below it. And as you can see, it paid off. It paid off really, really nicely. Being a bit flexible with my stop loss. Oh, that was freaking nice, man. That was freaking nice. Got into a bit of drawdown. The New York Open candle literally just flipped the volume our way. And then, boom, price immediately just flew to the level that we were targeting. And oh, wow. Just wow. Wow. Before I break my TV, I'm in awe, bro. I'm in awe. As it stands right now, this video is going to be mad long, so I think I'm just going to end this one here. And then at the end of the week, because what I wanted to do is in this first video include this current week's, because it's like Monday now, the market's just opened. I wanted to include this week's trade recaps within this first video, because this week I want to be paper trading and maybe mixing in a little bit of small account trading. Honestly, depends on how the back testing goes, because I'm probably gonna sleep. I'm probably either gonna sleep or just doom scroll for a little bit till I fall asleep. But yeah, I want to attack this in the morning with a fresh mind. Yeah. I'm probably just gonna end this video here. Make sure that if you're still watching, I don't know, bro, comment some crazy comment gonorrhea if you're still if you're still watching till this point. And yeah, I'll see you guys on. Okay, let me see, because I'm definitely gonna drop a video for this week's trade recaps, for this week's live trade recaps, because I want to do that. I'm gonna mix in paper trading with small account trading. Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. We got a lot in store. What I want to do is, as soon as I'm somewhat confident, immediately just dive into a funded account. I don't want to give myself the opportunity to, how do I say, have my ego deflated before I can really get to test myself. And the ultimate test for profitability is a funded challenge. I firmly believe that. So yeah, it's basically a road to passing a funded challenge. That's the goal right now, because I was able to pass. I passed a lot of funded challenges in my previous, using my previous strategy. So I feel like that'll be the ultimate mark of whether or not does this actually work. Pass a funded account, get two payouts, because yeah, the number of traders that buy funded challenges and actually pass them is really, really low. But the number of traders that actually get to that first payout stage is a fraction of that, and the number of traders that actually get to the second payout stage is a fraction of that number as well. So yeah, pass a funded account, get that first payout, get that second payout. Then yeah, from there, who knows what it'll be. Maybe it'll be lifestyle vlogs, maybe it'll be something, maybe I'll turn into a full-fledged guru. I don't know, bruh, but stay tuned to find out type shit.